Hi, my name is Caitlin Keene. Today I'm going to talk to you about a substance called Maca Powder. You may have come across this when looking at some of the ingredients of foods or drinks that you like to buy. Probably things like smoothies, protein bars, powders, and shakes, and even different recipes sometimes call for maca powder. It's actually a root, so it's a natural substance, and it commonly resembles like a radish. And it grows in the Andes Mountains, mainly in Peru, and is one of the world's highest altitude growing crops. There are three different kinds. There's the yellow, the black, and the red, and each one has its own set of specific benefits. They each have like similar benefits, but there's specific ones that certain ones don't have. However, I'm not going to go into too much detail between that because I'm actually going to be talking about the powdered form of maca, which usually when you go buy it has a mixture of all three of the different types. You can get them individualized, but for the case of this, we're going to be talking about the powder that has all three. So now that you know what it is, if you want to learn more about what it does, keep watching. Maca is an adaptogen, and as a result does not contain any hormones. However, it does have a variety of amino acids. It is through these amino acids that the hormones are able to be produced. And because hormones affect various aspects of health, having a balanced and healthy endocrine system can lead to numerous perceived health benefits. Maca is known as a natural stimulant. What makes it so unique is that the energy boost it gives is even and sustained and does not stress the adrenal glands like coffee and tea do. When it comes to the nervous system, maca helps with mental clarity and focus, and it also enhances learning and memory. It is also shown to reduce anxiety and depression. Maca increases bone density because it is naturally high in calcium and has fertility-enhancing properties. Being high in calcium allows for it to be helpful in the prevention of osteoporosis and to just make sure that you have strong bones. Coming from a performance enhancement point of view, on the athletic side of things, maca is an anabolic substance. This means that it can help build muscle mass. And in a study conducted by Stone and his colleagues, trained male cyclists were able to improve their 40-kilometer cycling times after just 2 weeks of maca supplementation. Another article written by Dording and his colleagues suggested that maca could reduce the effects of chronic fatigue syndrome in a variety of individual tests, and that it also improved blood circulation, which was important in reducing anemia and improved wound healing time. They also found that it reduced depression due to elevated moods, which we kind of touched on earlier with the hormones. There are currently no known risks or side effects when taking maca. There are sometimes startup symptoms that can come along with beginning to put something in your body that your body's not accustomed to, things like having an upset stomach, heartburn, headaches. However, these symptoms usually go away within the first week as your body becomes accustomed to the maca, so there are no immediate side effects that has been seen in any of the research that has been done. There are certain populations, however, who should not take maca and should avoid it or should be closely monitored while taking it. And these include individuals who suffer from cancer related to hormones such as testicular cancer or ovarian cancer, people with liver problems, and people with high blood pressure. These individuals should be monitored carefully when supplementing because the maca may have different effects when paired with the medications they're already taking. And it is also unwise for an individual who has thyroid disease to take maca because it's composed of 50 micrograms of iodine, which would worsen the unwanted side effects that accompany thyroid disease. So overall, there are no known side effects for the overall population, no negative effects that they should be aware of. Maca is most well known and used in its powder form. It is also available as a capsule or a liquid extract, however, the greatest amount of benefit has been seen from the powder. How much maca you should really take depends on whether you are taking it for therapeutic purposes or general health. In the end, however, it isn't a drug or a supplement, so it is pretty much impossible to overdose, so you don't have to be afraid about that. Some people have reported increased heart rate and nervous energy when they take too much, so it is because of this that it's recommended to start out with about 1 to 3 teaspoons of maca and work your way up gradually if needed. 1 to 3 is the general amount that usually works for the general population. But just like with any performance-enhancing drug, there are numerous variables that determine the response one's body will have to maca. Things to consider are your age, your gender, physical activity levels, your body weight. All these different things will have an effect on how much will work on you. And depending on an individual's preference, the recommended dose may be taken all at once, either in the morning or in the middle of the day, or multiple times throughout the day. So in the morning, in the evening, afternoon, whenever you want. And figuring out what works best for you is a trial and error process because no two bodies are alike, so it's hard to make a general guideline. The current research also suggests that when taking maca, it is important to implement breaks after the first 4 to 6 weeks of daily use. The first 4 to 6 weeks allow your body to get used to the maca, and then after taking a break, it allows the body to not only stabilize its hormones naturally without the influence, but also feel the effects stronger once you start taking it again. And these breaks can happen once a week or 5 days in a row each month. In conclusion, up to this point, maca has shown no negative side effects and only seems to give more and more benefits the more it's researched. I recommend that if you're looking for something natural to help increase your performance, whether it be athletically or academically, you try Maca Powder. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something.